How the poor invest versus how the rich invest. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. In this video, we show you how the poor invest and how the rich invest. If you want to learn the habits of the rich and become like them, watch until the end. If you find the video you watch useful, we invite you to subscribe to our channel and support us with a donation. Your help is precious to us and will allow us to continue producing quality content for you. You can do it here below, through the appropriate buttons, subscribe, and thanks. The rich do not invest only in developed countries but also in emerging markets. Although it is safer to invest in one's own country, most of the rich are not bound by physical borders. They conduct thorough research and invest in other countries where they believe their investments will be safe and yield good returns. They do not hesitate to invest in emerging markets, as long as they fit their investment strategy and portfolio. Poor people, on the other hand, are reluctant to invest abroad for fear of incurring losses. Rich people invest in all types of assets. Others believe they can only invest in certain goods, especially material ones. Most of the rich invest in a diversified portfolio of material and immaterial assets. The rich usually have a diversified portfolio, which protects them in case one sector underperforms or is affected by adverse market factors. The poor invest what is available, based on their capital. Rich people prefer to invest in the private sector rather than the public sector to gain greater wealth. Private companies are competitive and, in most cases, well managed. The rich reap great benefits from the private companies in which they invest or which they own as angel investors. The rich focus on how they pursue their business strategies and goals, but especially on their own goals and not necessarily on what their neighbors are doing. The poor constantly pay attention to what their neighbors are doing and intend to imitate or outdo them. In balancing their investment portfolios, the rich pay great attention to regularly reviewing their investments and their direction. It is important to ensure that the portfolio is allocated in the right proportions and that the right mix of diversification is maintained. Many wealthy investors have a savings strategy to increase their wealth. Rich people know that they need to save and invest their money. The poor, on the other hand, often do not have the means to implement this strategy. Rich people are always looking for new investment opportunities. Before investing their funds, they conduct thorough research to ensure they have multiple sources of income to achieve their wealth goals. Considering the amount of money they have to invest, poor people may look at things differently, spend less time on research, and seize every opportunity that comes their way. If a rich person wants to invest in a particular sector, they are more likely to be able to obtain the funds to do so from their own assets. They are also more reliable and have a better chance of obtaining bank loans. The poor, on the other hand, cannot obtain loans from many financial institutions and may be completely limited in their investments. Most of the rich people we see today started with little and increased their wealth over time. When they start with little, they invest more and thus increase their wealth. It is difficult for the poor to start small, and they do not invest. It takes a determined and ambitious person to invest in an unknown field. They wait to see a faint light at the end of the tunnel, in a sector that others have never tried. Poor people are generally risk-averse, making it difficult for them to invest, and they are not willing to risk the little money and few resources they have. Rich people tend to invest when they earn, setting aside a sum to invest and then spending the rest. In this way, the rich do not run out of money to invest. The poor, on the other hand, spend their money and invest only what is left. The rich do not work for someone else but dedicate their time to themselves. This makes them better investors because they have the flexibility to study and invest for their personal development and to understand the investment market. Most of the poor work to earn a living for themselves and their families, taking time away from personal development. The rich have more resources than the poor. They have money that they can invest in their preferred sectors to earn more. The poor, on the other hand, have limited resources, and the only resource they can use to generate income is time. If they invest with the wrong mindset and attitude of the poor, their chances of success decrease. Unfortunately, most of the poor have the attitude that they cannot do more in life. The rich, on the other hand, are positive and often convinced that their investments will succeed. What was your experience with the topic covered in this video? Tell us about it in the comments, we are curious to know. And if you have any doubts or questions, don't hold back. Leave a comment, even just a simple like would be perfect, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel to stay informed about upcoming releases.